Greetings folks, Chris here, and welcome to yet another on To and Proper Citizen Carry channel. What a nice day out today, huh? Kind of crappy, things are kind of wet, so we'll see about this video. But what I decided to do with the Citizen Carry channel is to also incorporate outdoor gear, camping gear, even fishing stuff from time to time. And what I'm going to do is kick off what would be probably the second video in this whole series, since you guys probably saw my dry box video with all of the survival gear and stuff like that inside it. I decided that I am going to do the second one on this here Unigear folding portable wood burning stove, and this is designed for camping, for being able to cook while you're out camping, while you're out roughing it or whatnot. So we're going to find out how this thing works. We're going to start by assembling it, and then we are actually going to cook some chicken on it. I want to see how well this stove does. You guys know that I'm also a cook if you've been watching my videos. So I'm just going to do a simple chicken breast on it and see how well it cooks it. And we're going to just take things from there. But first, we're going to get into the setup. Okay, setup of this is supposed to be easy. So as you can see, this all folds down nicely, and it's contained really well in this little Unigear pack here. So we'll unzip it. I imagine, since this is sort of a cloth bag, that when you've already soiled this thing and when it's got soot all over it and stuff, you'll probably want to wipe it down really good before you put it in the bag. But that's a small price to pay for convenience. Let's go ahead and take it out. And here it is. You can see this wasn't even used. You can see the reflection of the camera right there. And what we're going to do is go ahead and figure this thing out. Well, here's my grates. This thing comes with these two grates. Isn't that great? Anyway, we've got other parts to this. Oh, right here, that's the tray. And I imagine now that you can put this any which way, whether you're closer to the fire or not. So this will go like this. And this will go in. Let's just say we want the chicken to be a little bit further away from the flame. We don't want to be too close to the flame. So here we've got it set up this way. That looks pretty good. So far, so good. And these are going to go on here something like this, right? Now, that's going to be the surface that I put the frying pan on. And then inside here is where I'm going to put the wood. Now, this didn't come with directions, so I do believe that this would go down in here for a place to set your wood and stuff like that, your wood and your kindling. So that's the setup of the stove. So as you can see, I got the fire started right here. It took a while for me to actually get this kindling started. Really, nothing in the world can replace dry leaves, but when dry leaves aren't something that you can readily find, dryer lint or anything like that, or any of these fire starting ropes that they sell right now or whatever, could also do the trick for getting a fire started. But so what we'll do is we'll allow this first piece of wood to get started, and then as we go on, I'll throw other pieces of wood onto the fire. Now that I've got the fire started a little bit, I'll go and get some chicken and put it on. Okay, I've got a pretty good flame over this. We'll put some chicken on and see how we do. Yes, my hands were washed. Okay, we got some action going. Okay. Now you may be asking, this is just olive oil by the way, but you may be asking what I use to season this. I just did a little garlic salt because I'm going to use this and put it in a salad. for my wife and I here. And some pepper. And that's as fancy as this gets. So we'll go ahead and cook this over the fire. We'll make sure that the fire stays stoked. Because I've got moist wood, but I think with a stove like this, you gotta make sure that you're gonna keep putting wood in there. This chicken, of course, it has to be at least 165 degrees in the center. And we'll just cook this a little bit more. It's cooking a while. We'll go ahead and turn it. All right. Hopefully we get our 165 in the center. Looking nice. Put a couple pieces of wood on here. $159, $162, $65, $174, $180, $163.1, $165. It took about 15 minutes for this chicken breast to cook on this little fire, and I had to keep stoking it, and I had to keep adding wood. So, in conclusion, with the cooking part of this segment, I would say if you're going to do something like fish or eggs or something like that can cook really quickly and not such a dense meat such as chicken or other types of poultry that have to be cooked at a high internal temperature and for a long period of time, this may not be the stove to use for chicken and stuff like that, more dense meats. Beef, maybe, if you like your beef kind of rarish, medium rarish. So that's it. This is the chicken breast. This is the cooking segment. And so on with the conclusion. Okay, so here we are. We're back in the garage. This was cooled off, emptied out, and put back together for this part for the wrap-up. And for the wrap-up, would I recommend this here Unigear stove for most camping applications? I would say I would recommend it for some. I wouldn't recommend it for every one of them though, because as you can see, this is not a whole lot of area inside this stove, and you have to readily have smaller pieces of wood already chopped to keep the fire going in here. But this does have its uses, and primarily for lighter stuff. So if you're cooking thinner meats, something like fish, eggs, and stuff like that, just thinner stuff, bacon perhaps, or heating water or something like that, this would be perfect for that cause. But this would not be something that you would want to bring along, say, to a base camp with several people, heating big pots of chili and stuff like that, because you're going to need a high temperature and for sustained periods of time. And this little bit of an area, well, you're going to be throwing wood in this all day, and nobody has that kind of time. But for one or two people out camping or something like that, you know, just you need something portable to carry to ensure you have some sort of stove or whatever while you're out there roughing it. Something like this would be very good. Now you can see through this, by the way, while we're on the subject, that there's grooves here and that there's also grooves up here where this grate sits in. And if you turn this unit upside down, you can have yourself a little bit further from the fire or a little bit closer to the fire. So you've got 4 settings for how close the fire is to the grate up here. So that's pretty versatile. As you can tell from the video, the wood that I thought was dry was actually sort of damp. When I was cutting into it, it didn't feel as dry as I would like it to feel. And also too, I used dryer lint for lighting the fire, which that works very well, but nothing can replace the old dry grass and leaves. So this is a pretty good thing right here. And on a scale of 1 to 5, I would probably give this, say 3. It's not your all-around utility best thing to use. There's better stoves that you can have if you can bring propane. Those propane single burner stoves are pretty good. Those work for sustained periods of time, and you can heat things for a long period of time. Those are ideal. But if you're not going to be able to have propane with you, something like this isn't too shabby for light use. So that's it, folks. the wood-burning collapsible stove by Unigear. And I am Chris. My email address is scrolling across the bottom of the screen as we speak right now. That's toimproper@gmail.com. Write and I will answer you, provided you're going to be polite about whatever it is you have to say, and if I've got the time. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless America, and keep on protecting your family, yourselves, your country's flag, and its honor. It's always the right thing to do.